Shh. Hi everyone, and welcome to episode 87 of the Talk is Cheap show. Hope you're all well, healthy and COVID free. Thanks to everyone for tapping in today. We truly appreciate your support. As you can see, we're live in the studio today, and it is both my honour and pleasure to be able to introduce to you all my co-host, expert analyst and good friend, the iconic, the illustrious, the immaculate, the immense, the impactful, the impassioned, the impeccable, the imperious, the impressive, the incredible, the sometimes incendiary, but always informative, illuminating, and always fiercely independent. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, please give a big digital round of applause for Curtis Shaw of Curtis Shaw TV's in the house, live and direct in the building. What are you saying, bro?
Oh, what an entrance, man. I thought we was about to go into the Verzuz battle, man. You know what I mean? Michael Buffer, Locks, Dipset business. Nah, I'm happy to be here, man.
Oh, man.
Good to see you, bro.
What are you saying, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
Yeah, good, man. First things first, happy Jamaican Independence Day today.
Big bomba clap, Jamaica. Hey?
Yeah, we're representing the Jamaica thing in the house, man. Yeah, so shout out to all. We got quite a few fans from Jamaica.
Yeah, man.
Not just following the channel, but watching the show. I can always tell by the comments, so they put the flags up. So big up on yourself, yeah?
Come on, man.
Big up. Yeah, big up all the Jamaican people. Not just here, everywhere. The whole diaspora, man. Big up yourselves, man. You know what I mean? Bro, where should we start? Yeah, the Verzuz battle, man.
Wow.
What I like to call the most entertaining one-sided beatdown I think I've ever seen in my life, man. You know what I mean? Dipset versus the Locks. On paper, it could have been, close, you know what I mean? Should have been close, should have been very even. Because you know what, I was thinking that to me, Dipset actually got the more hits. Do you think that's fair to say? Or the more popular songs?
Hits, yeah.
So you thought it would have been a very even battle, but it was anything but, wasn't it?
You know what, I stayed up late, man. I thought I gotta stay up for this because I love my New York hip hop.
Yeah.
But what I realised, a lot of what made them great back in the day, I think, was the image. The pink Range Rover, the pink minks, the chains.
It's typical Harlem, man.
Typical Harlem flavour, you know?
Yeah.
But I think when you're having a rap battle like that, it's just pure microphone and lyrics. Jadakiss, man, yo, it was moving like Pele at his best, man. Lionel Messi, like Styles and Sheep were just falling back, like you just handled it.
No, but they were able supporting cars. Because when called upon Styles, man, he smashed it.
What I noticed, because Dipset have split up for a few years, and obviously come back together. To me, the Locks look like a group of brothers. They knew every lyric of each other. Dipset, you could tell they've broke up, come back to what.
My man had his deck chair. What was all that about?
Yeah, man? I don't know what. But you know what? It was strong for the culture, man.
It was.
It was powerful, man. I loved it.
There's two Verzuz battles that have stood out for me, and that was I know I'm being a little biased here, but the Beanie Man and Bounty, and then this one. You know what I mean? But I mean, I've got to agree with you, man. The Locks washed them, man.
Yeah.
Completely washed them.
And I think they knew as well.
Destroyed them.
Comments after. Cam's like, listen, man, Jadakiss, I don't know what was going on. This guy was so well prepared, but I loved it. I watched it about 3 times, I gotta be honest.
I watched it the first time, and then I must admit, I watched it back a second time just because there were so many good moments. But man.
Exactly.
If you guys ain't seen that, check that out, man. Verzuz battle. Yeah, man. The Olympics.
Yeah.
You been catching up with that?
I have. Do you know what? It's probably the least I've watched an Olympics. Because for me, just the track and field without Usain Bolt is not quite the same.
Well, big up to the Jamaican ladies, man. The 1, 2, 3.
The ladies are representing the men's 100 metres.
That was
poor, man. You know what I mean? Football.
There was no swag in that.
There was no swag.
No swag.
I watched a little bit of the football because of Martinelli and stuff, but a little bit of the boxing, but not quite the same with no crowd.
I have to agree with you there, man. It's not really hit the heights yet.
No.
And then even in the track and field, Team GB have not really done anything. No, has it? I was unlucky with KGT, Caprina, Johnson, Thompson. But anyway, you all know her name, but I felt sorry for her, man. She got injured. Dina Asher in 100, she pulled up. We might get gold in the 4x100 in the women's, but Adam Jamili, he flopped out, innit? Injured, man. But I'll still watch it, man. I love my Olympics. I love my athletics. Okay then. So let's move on to what I call the news and notes segment of the show. News and notes is basically where we just talk about sort of items pertaining to Arsenal football that we consider relevant. So first up then, the breaking news, the thing that got everybody talking and everybody like texting and phoning people, getting all excited. Lionel Messi. When I heard this, I heard it yesterday, man. I was driving home. I nearly crashed the car when I heard it. Seriously, momentarily I was distracted, understandably, because when you hear that,
crazy.
Because, I mean, last year there were rumours that he might go. But I don't know about you, but I never really thought that would happen. I always thought that they would
sort out
bridge the gap and keep him there, you know. But this time, the way it was being reported is that, you know what I mean, it's final. There's closure, he's gone. And of course, the first thing you're thinking, where's he going to go? And I'm thinking straight away, yeah, man, Arsenal.
Do you know what? Do you remember a year ago when Edu was like, oh, boom, Messi? You remember when he said that? He goes, oh, what do these fans want? Messi. And I'm thinking, all right, Edu, go and get him.
Go and get him, yeah.
Listen, do you know what? Social media was full of pictures.
Yeah, it was.
Messi
Meltdown,
Arsenal
man.
Shirts. It was fun. I
think the Barcelona website actually crashed yesterday.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
But I was like you at the start when I heard it. My first reaction was like, nah. Somehow they'll find a way to get that deal done.
Yeah.
I felt like they were just trying to put pressure on La Liga. But it looks as if he's going, and
I think
listen,
so.
From my point of view, I think that destroys La Liga.
Yeah.
I think with no Ronaldo and Messi, no Neymar, that league's got very little to offer. Without being disrespectful.
Got an aging Luis Suarez.
Because
Because even Sergio Ramos has gone now, hasn't
and he's gone. So, do you know what? Even though we're Arsenal fans, I would love to see Messi go to Man City just so that he's in the Premier League. I would love to see him in the Premier League.
I think a lot of people would agree with that, to be honest.
Yeah, and look, we're not competing for the title. Right?
No.
So
It's not going to affect us,
It's not going to make no difference, but it looks as if he may go to PSG. But
yeah, I think PSG is a favourite for a number of reasons. A, they're probably the only club in the world that could afford him. And B, he would seem to slot nicely into what the overall project is there, which is basically to create a team of, what's the term? Galacticos and, I mean, a glam team. And if he does join them, and then they go on and win the Champions League, which is their holy grail, then can you imagine what that will do?
To them? I mean, imagine how many PSG shirts you're going to see. Neymar, Mbappe and Messi in front three. Sergio Ramos in defence.
No, if you think about it, that'd be like a history-making side, wouldn't it? People would look back on that in years to come and say, was this the most exciting qualities forward attack ever assembled in club football?
I wonder if Poch will still find a way to spur
to implode, yeah.
Can he handle them three personalities in the dressing room as well?
Yeah, that's a good question, because you don't know how Neymar would react to that, though.
The thing is, I think Neymar
they get on
he's
about
very, because I don't know if you saw, there was a picture 3 days ago of Messi on holiday with Neymar, Di Maria.
Yeah, I've seen that.
So clearly the tapping up process is, come on, bro, come play with us, my ego can drop a little bit. Welcome the king back. And
then there's that Argentine link there, isn't it? The manager, Argentine. Di Maria, you know what I mean? And then obviously he's got Sergio Ramos, who he would know from back in Spain, not these Argentine, but you know what I'm saying? There's enough guys there, I'm sure. So
I think that's where he'll go.
Yeah, but like you said, man, if he went to City, I would have no complaints about it. I'd love to see him in the Premier League.
I'm not sure, you know, he'd be a bit scared of Rob Holding now, I reckon. You know what I mean?
What? Although, Rob Holding notwithstanding for the moment, a lot of people in this country are suggesting that him being 34 and his size and stature, that he might, people don't want to go as far as to say struggle, but he might find it a bit more of a challenge coming to the Premier League than he would leagues like La Liga or France. What do you think about that?
I still think he'd rip it apart. I do think it would be more of a challenge, just the weather.
Tuesday night in Stoke.
Tuesday night in Burnley, you don't get that break over Christmas, what they do in Spain and France. But to me, I would still... I don't think the defending in the Premier League is great. I think Messi would score half of it.
No, but the physicality might be an issue for him, because let's face it, he's going to have a target on his back. Every defender out there worth their name is going to want to leave one on Messi, isn't it? Because that will be probably the highlight of their careers to say, yeah, I remember when I
mashed up Messi.
I stuck it on him. Messi didn't want to know. You could just see that.
The French league's quite physical, though. You know,
I've
seen Neymar get clattered over them.
That's probably because he's Neymar.
Yeah, exactly.
Did he cry?
I'm not sure.
He probably did start crying.
When they lose, don't they?
Yeah, so that would be interesting. And of course, that kind of superseded what would have been the biggest news out there, and that was Grealish's transfer.
Yeah.
Record-breaking transfer, 100 mil. What's your thoughts on that, bro?
I think for Jack Grealish, it's a great move. I think he deserves it. I think he's a fantastic player. I remember a lot of Arsenal fans were linking us with him because he'd said some complimentary things of Arsenal, but I think he's a great player. From the outside, I don't think Manchester City desperately needed him as such, because when you look at the wingers, they've got Sterling, Mahrez, Foden, Torres, Bernardo Silva. But, he's English, and I think he's a quality player, and I think
he's
Pep
exciting.
feel like he can take him to that next level as well. I think they probably need the striker more than they needed Grealish, because they've only got Jesus there. I know they're trying to get Kane, but I think it's a great move, it just further strengthens them, really.
Although once the news of Messi came out yesterday, it did get me thinking, because I was thinking, had this news with Messi arrived a few days earlier, do you think Man City would have gone all out to get Grealish? Or do you think they might have thought, you know what, chance to get Messi, let's hold off on it and see if we can get him?
I mean, it's interesting, isn't it? Because someone was saying, they should take Grealish back, get their money back. And go and spend it.
Well, if they've still got the receipt.
28 days, man, full refund.
If they've still got the receipt, they can say, well, you know what I mean?
Go on, take it.
Will you take it back? I mean, you know what I mean?
Grealish is wearing the number 10 shirt. I'm thinking, Messi 10, they might have to call you and say, you got to change that
once
number,
they got that
bro.
receipt, man, they could take it back to Villa and say, look, 28 days.
I mean, listen, all the stories are coming out saying Man City are not interested in Messi. I don't believe that for one second.
Nor do I.
I think Pep, being a Barcelona boy, he has to make it look like this deal fell into his lap rather than he went out and pursued it. I think City behind closed doors. It might be Harry Kane that is the fall guy.
Well, it's funny you should mention Harry Kane, because I was going to come on to him next. So we segued nicely into that. Harry Kane, gone AWOL.
Where is he? Where's Harry? Not where's Wally, where's Harry? We can't find him.
Now, this one is kind of ironic, really, because I've got a few mates who are Spurs fans. Shout out to Toby, by the way. He was in the building yesterday.
Yes,
and we were sort of teasing him about this yesterday. Now, Toby's been one of those guys that he always singing Harry Kane's praises, as do most of their fans, if not all of them. And you'll always hear them say, Harry Kane, he's a Tottenham boy, he's one of our own. You know what I mean? He's the consummate professional, never do anything to upset the fans. And then look, man's gone AWOL. You know what I mean? So
it is what it is.
What's your thoughts, bro? I mean, clearly he wants out.
Yeah.
He feels that Tottenham have reneged on a previous agreement. It would appear to let him go.
Yeah.
If you're Daniel Levy, of course, you're looking at it thinking, well, listen, man, we will let you go, but they've got to meet our asking price, City or whoever else it is. So I guess you can look at it from both sides, but having spoken to you previously, you've been a striker in football, you know your way around the scene, and I think you're coming down on Harry Kane's side on this one, aren't you?
Yeah, for me, look, I think sometimes in football, people talk about loyalty, but if you have a couple of bad seasons, a club will chuck you out. No one complains about it.
Yeah.
Harry Kane, to me, has given great service to that football club. He's clearly operating at a level higher than Tottenham. He could play for most clubs in world football. Hasn't won one trophy in his career. He's now 28. It's now or never for Kane. And this is I think his agent would have said to him, you've got to be rebellious now. Don't go back to training. Stay on holiday. You've got to force annual leave his hand. I think one mistake that Harry Kane made, he's probably been too trustworthy of Levy. If he gave him a gentleman's agreement 12 months ago, you can't have that in writing.
A gentleman agreement, assuming you're dealing with a gentleman.
There you go.
You know what I mean? You're not.
You've got to have that contractually written up that you can go at a certain price. I think it's going to be difficult for him to get the move.
I don't
see Levy just crumbling, and they've already turned down 100 million. if Grealish is 100 million, let's be honest, Kane is worth more. He's a striker. You know, he's done more in Europe and things like that. They're going to have to pay 130.
Although what you said there is correct, but on the other side of that, if you're looking at his age, he's got a slightly injury-prone record, although he featured in more games last year, as Toby's always telling me. But yeah, man, I mean, yeah, you got to say, you're right there. If Grealish is worth 100 mil, and if you're Dan Levy, you say, listen, man, fair enough, Grealish 100 mil, but we want at least 150 for Harry Kane. You know what I mean? So
let's see what happens.
So you don't think he'll go?
I don't think he'll go.
I don't think he'll go, you know, before the season starts, obviously, but I could see him leaving in January. Because they ain't going to want to keep an unhappy player for too long, are they?
I think he's either got to go now or he'll probably be forced to stay for the season. But I think he'll struggle to get that move. Because even if Tottenham sell him, how do they replace him? You know, there aren't many strikers available, and the top ones are not going to go to Tottenham.
That's right.
Disrespectful. So I think Harry might be stuck there now for a bit longer. Don't come back before Sunday though. Let us deal with Spurs first.
There is talk that he will come back, bro, but who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, okay, thanks for that, bro. Yes. Some other news that emerged last week: the players are to resume taking the knee before games. I know we've spoken about this before on the show, and at first when they did it, I was all for it. Towards the end of last season, I started to feel that maybe it might be time for them to think of something else, but it's kind of run its course, and you was getting some disaffection, even amongst some of the black players were saying, actually, you know what, Zaha was one that was noticeable, but there are other players as well who was thinking that maybe there's time for a change of tact. So I was quite surprised actually to hear that the players had voted on it and overwhelmingly had agreed to continue it this season. Now, we know that the fans are coming back, and we know that there are going to be some grounds where, let's be honest, it's not going to be received with overwhelming support. Let's leave it like that. But what's your thoughts on taking a knee next season?
Do you know what? I'm all for awareness, which I think is what they're trying to do. They're trying to push awareness, but I'm kind of with you in the sense that I don't feel like it's having an effect anymore. I think it's worn off. I think at the start, it felt powerful. Yeah. It felt like, yes, this is togetherness. We're all fighting for one cause. To me now, it feels a little bit gimmicky to me now, like the game's starting, let's quickly take the knee before we kick off. You know, if there's nothing being done by that happening, then we're doing it for no reason. And I don't feel like enough action has been taken. So I feel like now you've got to change the plan. You've got to do something else. You know, I'm all for players.
I'll tell you where they might want to start is like throwing teams like Slavia Prague out of competitions. You heard the other day that there was racist abuse at one of their games. That's what needs to happen. That's far more powerful than a group of guys taking a knee before the game. But yeah, I'm with you on that, man. It's a gesture that, like you said, at the start of last season, it was very powerful. Everybody was behind it. But over the course of time, you know what I mean, it's had its detractors, including, like I said earlier, some of the players don't seem to be totally all for it. But you know what? You know.
You're not against
I'm not against it, but I'm not overwhelmingly for it. But I'm still in favour of the message it sends. So I guess, you know, all things being equal, I'm happy for them to keep doing it. But I do think it's lost a bit of its potency. But we'll see how it turns out. Hopefully the fans will respect it, even those fans that don't agree with it or, you know, try to attach some political significance to it. It's done for the right reasons. It's a genuine, sincere gesture, and I hope it's respected. That's all we can say, really. So, yeah. And just finally on the news and notes, we should shout out Gabriel Martinelli. This weekend, Brazil contest the Olympic gold medal match against Spain. Martinelli has featured, in fact, he featured in the semi-final where he scored one of the penalties that took them through in their 4-1 win against Mexico, so he'll feature in the final. Obviously, we wish him luck. Have you been catching up on any of the football? You said you did, didn't you?
Yeah, I watched a bit of the football. Obviously, I hope he wins it. They've got a strong team.
They have, yeah, they have.
Alves playing. He's about 38, isn't he? But now Brazil.
Richarlison's playing. He's done quite well.
Yeah. Obviously, let's hope he wins that. It's always nice to see an Arsenal player winning some silver.
Yeah, win something, isn't it? Yeah. So, good luck to Gabriel Martinelli there. Right, okay then, moving on to...
Here we go. This is where it all gets a bit tricky now, isn't it, Arsenal?
Arsenal's latest activity in the transfer window, or as I like to say...
Lack thereof.
Or lack thereof. But, you know what, I just want to start by saying it's... No sooner had we finished the show last week and you gone home.
Yeah.
I get a phone call from Kurt. He said, "Yo, Laurie, have you seen what's going on at Arsenal now?" I'm like, "No, what's going on, bro?" He said, "They've offered Granit Xhaka a new contract." I was like, "What?"
Let's go back and do the show.
And I was saying to my man, I goes, "I think it's fair to say that that is something that you would not, A, have been expecting, and B, not supporting. So no. You can let loose, man."
Granit, man.
We've only got another 20 minutes.
So. I'm gonna have to. I mean, it was one of them like hand-on-head moments for me. Do you know what? With Granit Xhaka, let me start off by saying this. Granit Xhaka, for him, had one of his better seasons last year.
But
he's a fully committed player.
I see a butt coming in.
Number one, to not sell him, okay, you've decided that Roma's offer is not good enough. You wanted a better fee for him. I can kind of understand that.
What was the fee?
Well, apparently they offered 15 million for him.
It's
and
not great, is it? I mean, we
paid
paid 35.
It's not a great deal, of course. But then to reward him with a new contract, with a pay rise, 4 years. He turns 29 in September. So this contract will take him up to 33 years.
So he's got a Willian type contract.
He will be 1 year away from a testimonial at Arsenal.
Some would argue that he's already had a testimonial.
Do you know what I mean? I'm like, why do we reward failure at Arsenal now? Is this the benchmark now, Granit Xhaka? You can get a new 4-year contract if you perform at that level. For me, I'm going to be honest with you.
Don't hold back.
And some people will have a go at me for this. I think Arsenal giving Granit Xhaka a 4-year contract is an absolute disgrace.
Wow.
Honestly, that's how far I would go. I think that is a total embarrassment on the club. Honestly, I think that's not exactly going to send shockwaves throughout the rivals, is it? You ain't. And don't get me wrong, he's not the worst player at the club. There are players who he's performed better. El Messi, as he's calling it. But to give this guy a 4-year deal, he's on $100,000 a week now. So they're saying there's a pay rise. Yeah, that's it. So he's going to go 110, 120, something around that. 4 years of Granit Xhaka. Come on. The ambition. That's not an ambitious move. By
you know what? Let me play a bit of devil's advocate here. And when
I can tell you about this big brother.
No, but you know what? I've said this before on this show that I personally don't think Granit Xhaka is as bad as what a lot of the fan base like to make out. And I'll tell you the reasons why. So I think a lot of the Arsenal fans, and I think with respect to you, sir, I think you're one of them.
Go on.
I think you have to kind of look at what his strengths and weaknesses are. You would argue that the strengths are probably not that great. But listen, solid guy, presence in midfield, good left foot, got a fairly decent range of passing, and he's a reliable player. He can play at left back, as we found last season.
Well, he tried.
Well, he did. No, but you know what? He didn't disgrace himself.
He didn't disgrace himself.
Probably was no worse than what Bellerin's been at right back. Let's be honest.
It's true.
And we saw in the Euros, he does have his qualities, you know what I mean? He is a very good player. Well, maybe not very good player, but he's a decent player, man. He's a good player.
Yeah.
And, he could do a job for us. But I must admit, I was shocked at the new deal for him. I have to say that. I've got to keep it real.
Do you know the thing? If, let's say we're going to have 4 centre midfielders next year. If we had Partey, another new centre mid, like a top Basuma or someone like that, Lokonga and Xhaka. If we had a 4 like that, I could get my head around Xhaka being kept at the club because I would see him as, you're a squad player, you're a backup player. But giving him this contract and the fact we haven't signed a major centre midfielder and the amount of money we're going to commit to him, that tells me that Granit Xhaka is going to be an integral part of this team. He's going to be a starting lineup player. He's been at the club 5 seasons. We haven't made the Champions League since he's been at the club. Now, I'm not blaming that on him because it takes more than him. Yeah. In 5 seasons at Arsenal, he's had 42 yellow cards.
Yeah, no,
nearly 10 yellow cards a season.
Wow.
Complete lack of discipline from this guy.
And I think I saw another stat where they were saying that in terms of the ratio of mistakes leading to goals,
the most.
He tops the chart. Now, when you look at it from that perspective, it's not very good.
That's damning. And like you were saying there, you see his performance for Switzerland. Clearly, there's a good player in Granit Xhaka. But he needs a certain style of football, a certain tempo.
I think the Italian league would have suited him.
That Roma deal would have been a great move for him, I think, with Mourinho. But I just think the Premier League's too quick, too demanding. I don't think he sees the picture quick enough. And I don't think he excels in the Thomas Partey partnership. I felt like...
Although, sorry to interrupt, I do think that was our best pairing.
It was our best pairing, but I don't think Partey...
But then the other option would have been El Neni. And
I think Xhaka benefited from Partey. I don't think Partey benefited from him. You know,
I don't know. Sometimes you do need to... Listen, it's all about partnerships, isn't it? In football, as in a lot of team sports. It's about partnerships. So you have one guy doing a certain thing and then another guy who allows him to do that role. You can't have two
doing the same
main men. You need your hype man, you know?
You need your Jada.
Yeah. You need your Jada because you need your Styles. You know, your Freaky Zeke and your Cameron, you know what I mean? He performs a certain role. It may seem very simple and you think, you know what I mean, he's easily replaceable. But when he's not there, you think, actually, you know what, I can see why that worked. So that's what I'm attributing to Xhaka. And I also think as well, and I've said it before and I'll say it again, a lot of the Arsenal fan base, and I saw this even dating back as far as when Gilberto Silva used to play for us, remember him? And of course you do. And I remember having arguments with fans after games in pubs and bars and stuff like that. And they say, oh, Gilberto Silva, it's not all that, is it? I said, actually, he performs a very good function within the team. But because he was Brazilian and he weren't doing step-overs and banging in free kicks from 30, 40 yards, people looked at him and thought, oh, he's not very good. But he was performing an essential role in the team. And that's how I kind of look at Xhaka. He's not... He does have his...
Hold on. So are you hold on.
I'm not saying he's as good as Gilberto Silva.
Are we comparing Gilberto and Granit Xhaka?
Not essentially, but the point I'm trying to make is the roles that certain players fulfill within the team. And if you haven't got that symbiotic relationships right, it doesn't really work. You know what I mean?
All right, so would you have... If 15 million wasn't enough to sell him, which I think... a lot of people would have said he's not enough. What's your thoughts on him getting a 4-year deal on a pay?
That did surprise me, I have to say. That did surprise me. But then that could have been because what they're trying to do, if you think about it, is to maybe up his value so that when a club does come in for him next season, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
there had to be some kind of rationale behind that.
You would think so. You know, they always give it that.
Because apparently the pay rise he got wasn't that great.
Yeah, but you know, he's already on 100 grand, an extra 10.
Yeah.
If we couldn't sell him at 28 after a better season for him and a good European Championships, if you can't get 20 million for him on the back of that, in 12 months' time when he's 29, I don't see how his value goes any higher. It just goes down from it.
We'll see. But yeah, that's my thoughts on it, and obviously you remain to be convinced. But let us know, guys. I mean, that's a talking point here. A lot, you know, I have seen a few fans actually say they're quite happy to keep him on.
No,
so let us know what you guys think. But yeah, that did come as a bit of a bolt out of the blue. Right, okay, moving on then. Potential outgoing, Joe Willock. There's still lots of talk and conjecture about him. I know that Newcastle made a bid. Arsenal have accepted a bid, it would appear. But Joe Willock, do you think he'll leave?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I know you think he should do.
Do you know what it is? I like Joe Willock as a player, you know, and I think he's got qualities that we lack in terms of goal-scoring midfielder.
Can say that again.
Yeah, for real. But I just think under Arteta, the system he's going to play, I don't think Joe will get game time. I think with no European football, because the good thing about Europe, you can keep your squad happy. You know, if you don't play Saturday, you'll play midweek. I think Joe thrived in that system that Steve Bruce plays, counter-attacking, allows the midfield to get in behind. I don't think his value will be higher than this unless Arteta's playing him on a regular basis. 25 million for a guy that a year ago nobody was talking about at Arsenal, really. He's had a great loan. That's the purpose of a loan. Go do well, come back and play, or go do well and be sold at premium. I think 25 million in a market where we're struggling to sell players, I think we got to take that. And the fact they've accepted it would say that they're telling Joe Willock that you can go. So I think Joe should take that move.
But what do you think of the fact that, and let's face it, is a fact that a guy like Joe Willock has been at Arsenal, you know what I mean, came up in the youth programme there.
Yeah.
And, you know, let's be honest, he wasn't blowing up any trees there, was he?
No.
And then he's gone to Newcastle, and Steve Bruce, no less, has turned him into a goal-scoring midfielder. Yeah. Do you think that says anything about Mikel Arteta and the way he... Because you've got to ask that question, really. How is it that Joe Willock, who, let's face it, is a good player, but he wasn't like, sort of... He wasn't really that highly thought of at Arsenal, let's be honest. Let's keep it 100, he wasn't. And he's gone to Newcastle, and fair play to the man. He's made a big impact up there. The Newcastle fans love him. He's got great attitude, scoring goals, enjoying his football. Why do you think he's made that transition so quickly at Newcastle that he never did, well, let's be honest, even come close to achieving at Arsenal? Do you think that's significant?
Manager. I think number one, systems help get the best out of players. I don't think we play a style of football that really helps to get the best out of Joe Willock. I don't think he was given huge opportunities at Arsenal in the Premier League. No. He got a lot of games in Europa League, but I mean, I'm not going to say that Steve Bruce is a better manager than Arteta or anything like that. I just think the system suited him, the style of play, the way midfielders are allowed to run in behind and stuff. I do think it's a shame because when you look at the midfielders we've got, you would think Joe Willock should get an opportunity at Arsenal. I just think if you're not going to play him, you're better off selling him and getting the money and reinvesting. In an ideal world, I would have probably kept him, but under Arteta in this system, I don't think it's going to happen for him.
Yeah, so that's a potential outgoing that I could see happening, actually. Right, potential incoming, Tammy Abrahams. Now, I think I've said this on this show last week. If you'd have said Tammy Abraham to Arsenal last season, a lot of people would have just laughed at you in the face, including myself. I've got to be honest, man. I wasn't wholly complimentary of him. But, to be fair to him, the first part of last season for Chelsea, he did really well. And he was going great guns. Well, when I say great guns, he was doing well. Yeah. Lampard goes just after Christmas. Thomas Tuchel comes in all of a sudden. It happens, doesn't it, in football? New managers come in, don't quite fancy him. Since then, he's not had much game time. But he does have a body of work there. And, he was on loan before at Villa, and he did well there. Yeah. So he does have potential. He does have capability. And like I said, when he was first muted about him coming to Arsenal, a lot of fans were like, nah. But I've noticed on blogs, on websites, on shows, more people have seemed to be coming around to the idea that Tammy could provide something different. I mean, listen, he's a big, strong guy, 6'5". Apparently, he's very quick. Also, I'm hearing, for a big guy, I've spoken to a couple of Chelsea fans, he's not that good in the air, though. But listen, man, you're a striker. You know your football. Tammy Abraham to Arsenal. Deal or no deal? Does it make sense?
No deal. That used to be a show.
Yeah, it did, yeah.
Noel Edmonds.
Yeah, it did.
No deal,
no deal.
No deal.
No.
For me, listen, I'm going to be respectful because some people said I was a bit disrespectful to Tammy, but for me, we need signings that take us up a level. And because let's face it, we're in a bad place at the moment, Arsenal Football Club. We need people that can lift it. Yeah. I don't think Tammy Abraham lifts Arsenal up a level. I don't think he's better than what we've got.
Well, you know what? Not so much better, but maybe he offers something different. So if you've got Aubameyang playing through the middle, or even if he plays him through the left, I'm sure he will do that at some stage. Bringing Tammy on or put him in the team can offer you something slightly different, because one of the things that people say that detracts from Lacazette being at Arsenal is that he's in a way he's too similar to Aubameyang.
Or he doesn't offer you that like plan.
Yeah, or he's not way different. At least with Tammy, if you bring him on as an impact sub, the defenders looking at him, just him coming on the pitch straight away, they're going to be presented with different problems.
Yeah.
So it's possible that that's the thinking behind it. And it would appear that Arteta seems pretty much keen on it, doesn't he? He's not refuting anything.
No, I mean, listen, it's a deal that you could see Arsenal doing.
Yeah.
We seem to love buying players from Chelsea. And we've been stung a few times as well.
Yeah, we have.
Listen, I don't think Tammy's a bad player. He's 23, England international. He's clearly got a goal in him. I just don't think he's anywhere near the finished article yet.
No.
And I don't know if
But could we make him the finished article?
Have we got time?
Well,
have we got time? There's too much pressure on the manager. And obviously Tammy's on the bench at Chelsea. Does Tammy start at Arsenal? I don't know.
I don't think he would start.
I don't think he would. So is there no point in moving in that sense? Like, I don't think he's better than Aubameyang. I know Aubameyang's out of form.
Yeah.
But if we can get Aubameyang in some sort of form, for 40 million, I mean, look, Danny Ings just gone to Aston Villa. 5 million add-ons. I think he's a better finisher than Tammy.
Yeah.
Maybe not a better all-round player.
But would he start at Villa? Because they've got,
Watkins.
Watkins, who had a good season.
They've given themselves a good problem to have.
Yeah. But you see, that's what Villa have done, haven't they? They've looked at what Danny Ings can bring to the table. He's totally different from Ollie Watkins.
Yeah.
So they're looking at those diverse talents and seeing it may be able to work for them. And that's what I'm kind of thinking with Tammy Abraham. And like I said, if you'd have asked me this question last beginning, I would have laughed in your face. But now, no, I'm kind of entertaining it. And a few people are. A few people are. I know Robbie is, for one.
He?
Yeah.
Jeez.
A few people are, you know what I mean? Because they're saying that, listen.
Something different.
Yeah, something different, presents different problems. He's got a goal in him. And he's only going to get, we think he's only going to improve. 40
million.
No, that's a bit much. But then he's a young guy, English player, England international, and he got called up to the squad. I wouldn't be against it, I would not be against it, bro. I do get your point. Does he take us up to that next level? Probably not. However, I do see that there's some potential in that.
Yeah.
And for that reason, I would entertain it.
For that to happen would probably mean Lacazette or Nketiah or both would have to go. Because
that's true.
And that seems difficult at the moment. I haven't really heard any links with Lacazette going. But it'd be interesting.
We'll see. Right, okay, moving on again. Lautaro Martinez, that one won't go away.
I don't think that's happening, man.
But you don't think it's going to happen?
I think with that now, because obviously Chelsea are looking like Lukaku's going to go there, Inter are not going to sell both their strikers in one window. I think we may have had a little glimmer of hope a week or so ago. But you know the pace that Arsenal do transfers is not the quickest. So I
don't think layaway is going to approve.
Nah,
they
Klarna.
need the cash.
They don't take Klarna, They need the money.
So the layaway thing, the 1 million a week thing ain't going to work.
They're not taking that. I think that dream's gone.
Okay. And finally, whilst we're on the transfer activity, I know this is a signing that did excite you when we first spoke. I wonder if it still does. I suspect I know what you're going to say. James Maddison, potential incoming. Deal or no deal?
Yeah, this is deal for me. You know what? I actually think, I don't know why, for some reason, I think this deal is going to happen. I don't know why. Some people say, no chance.
You're speaking it into existence,
I think this deal's happening. Maddison wants the Arsenal move.
He does.
You know what I mean?
Does he want to just move to London?
Well, maybe he just wants to live that central London life, man. You know what I mean? He wants to be out on a Tuesday and tape and that. But no, I think Maddison wants the Arsenal move. You saw Brendan Rodgers' press conference, man. You know when managers are getting uncomfortable with those questions. He was snapping at the guy, and I thought, that.
Well, he's saying that Maddison's but he's saying that Maddison's very happy at Leicester. I'm not so sure if I agree with that, mate.
He's giving it all, Maddison's happy here. And listen, if Arsenal double the wages, London, let's face it, he wants to be in that England squad. Part of the reason he's not in the England squad is because he plays for Leicester. And that's no disrespect to them, because I think they're a better team than we are.
Oh, yeah.
But they're not a bigger club than we are.
No.
And I think if Maddison plays for Arsenal and he actually performs well, he gets in the England squad, you'll be seeing what's happening with Xhaka, how well he's done for England. Arsenal will double that wage.
And I think he'll be keeping an eye on the Grealish situation because one or two people have suggested to me that Maddison, having the ego that he does have, which, you know, hey, there's nothing wrong with that too much. He kind of looks at Grealish and thinks, you know what, I could be on that level, if not higher than him. Because I think he scores more goals than Grealish, doesn't he?
And I think he was in the Premier League before Grealish.
Yeah.
Well.
So he kind of considered himself slightly ahead of the curve. Fair play to Jack Grealish, he's sort of come through and, you know what I mean, he's this big thing. But if you're James Maddison, you're looking at it, you're thinking, listen, man, I can be at that level, if not just as high, if not higher, so, given the right circumstances. And I know, whilst Brendan Rodgers is portraying this harmonious relationship he's got with him, he did drop him for disciplinary reasons last season, and there has been some speculation that they don't always see eye to eye. So maybe Maddison fancies a new challenge. And like you said, he seems to want to move. And listen, I would certainly want Maddison at Arsenal, and you would, and I think most of the Arsenal fan base would.
I think this is down to Arsenal. If they want to get this deal done and they're serious about it, I think it's there to be done. If this deal doesn't happen, I think you've got to lay the blame at Edu and Kroenke and whoever else. Again, because the door seems to be open. You know, people saying 60 to 70 million. Put the money down. Arsenal at the moment, I think they're saying 40, 50 plus a player. They don't even want these players you're offering them. So just
who did we offer them?
I think they said Eddie and Ketty or Reece Nelson,
mainly, and they all knocked them all back.
I don't want none of them. Pay the money, man. Pay if you want the player.
No, I agree with you.
You know,
I agree with you.
I think we're going to get him though.
You do.
I don't want to build up everyone's hope because you know this is Arsenal. We've been down this road before. Luis Suarez, 40 million and a pound. But I think we're going to get this one. I think it'd be a great signing.
Yeah, well, Edu and those guys, if you're watching, man, Curtis is saying, come on, get your wallet out.
Get the money.
You know what I mean? Forget the layaway plans, get the player. I want to see him come. Most of the Arsenal fan base I've spoken to, in fact, not most, all of them I've spoken to want Maddison. I think he's the kind of player that would excite the fans. He's a goal-scoring midfielder, something we haven't had in God knows how long. And listen, man, like you, he wants to come. We need a player like that. Go get him. That's what I say, man. You know what I mean? Go and get that done. Okay, thanks for that, bro. Moving on again to the next segment of the show. This segment is what I call our friendlies update. Couple of friendlies to report on since the last show. The first of those at home to Chelsea. 2-1 defeat. Just briefly, 26 minutes, Kai Havertz's goal. Put them 1-0 up. Granit Xhaka, no less, turned goal-scoring midfielder, equalises. But then a few minutes later, man, Tammy Abraham of all people, man. You know what I mean? Tammy Abraham. So you see two of the guys who you don't particularly fond of, you know what I mean? They were like, come up trumps. So yeah, Tammy Abraham scored and Chelsea ended up winning 2-1. Now, Curtis, what's your thoughts on the game, including the positives and negatives to take from that game?
I think the positives, we moved the ball well, we created chances, and you know the goals. You look at both the Chelsea goals; they came from mistakes. You know, it's not like they were bopping us. You know, Rob Holding came running out for the first goal. Don't know what he was thinking there.
He's thinking about that Turkey trip.
Yeah, he's thinking, I need this hair to grow back quick. I don't know what he was thinking. Good finish by Havertz. Obviously, Arsenal equalised. Granit. Good cross from Pepe. Good header. And then the second
Pepe's a positive, isn't he?
Pepe was positive. And then the second one, your best mate, Hecky B. I think he actually thought we'd already signed Tammy Abraham, and he was playing the through ball to him, and then Tammy slots it in. I think, like I said, the positives, we moved the ball well, we created good chances in that game. I think the negatives, we saw those mistakes that we were seeing last season. Saw El Neni get caught on the ball, Bellerin making mistakes, Leno giving the ball away. I just think Arteta's got to find a different way of playing. I put a tweet out, I said, Arteta's trying to play champagne football with some Prosecco ballers, but these man might even be Lambrini sometimes. I'm telling you.
You're going back now, isn't it? Lambrini's, you're going back.
Guardiola football when you haven't got Pep Guardiola players. So I think he has to find a different way of playing sometimes.
Yeah. Abba watch.
I prefer not to speak.
This is becoming a bit of a concern, isn't it?
Like, we're coming on here saying, but don't worry, he's coming back. I go to the weekend, he's missing from like here to there. 6 yards out, Nuno Tavares, absolute peach of a cross, straight on his head. Easier to miss, and he misses. You know, I don't know, I'm hoping he's saving.
Is this a worry though, no?
It has to be.
It has to be
I
a
can't
worry.
keep covering it up and saying, you know, Aubameyang 2 years ago. Something's got.
So what do you think's wrong then?
Has age caught up with him a little bit? Confidence? Does he not believe in the manager, the team? I think it's a collective of all of those kind of things.
Because I'm looking at his body language in the friendlies, and he does seem to be putting a shift in.
Yeah.
He's playing with that smile on his face. Maybe he's too much smiling, I don't know, but he seems happy enough. It's not like he's like retreating into himself and the body language isn't right. He seems to be emitting a positive body language, but he's just not scoring, man.
No. He needs one to just, you know,
going off his backside or something.
Deflect it in. I mean, hopefully he gets a goal this weekend and then go into the season with a bit of confidence.
I mean, let's be honest, man. If it's one of them, we're in it. Whereas if he's not doing too much now, and then we get the first goal
next week.
Yeah, against Brentford, no one will be remembering all of this stuff.
Nothing then, does it? So.
But on the other side of the coin is every game that goes where he doesn't score, it's surely going to play on his mind, isn't it?
It is. As a striker, that's your biggest issue,
not
scoring. But we may have to find a different way of playing. Maybe Lacazette with his link-up play with all that movement around him, maybe that'll be the way we go. Maybe Martinelli when he comes back.
Yeah. But like you said, listen, the positives are we're creating chances, so I would back him to get back on the scoring sheet. And listen, what better way to do it than this week, which is this weekend we've got another friendly.
Yeah.
Against our arch rivals, Tottenham. What's your thoughts on that one, bro?
I'm looking forward to it. It's a shame, you know, no away fans are allowed to go to it. Tottenham obviously have fans in the stadium, so it'll help with the atmosphere. Nuno, Harry Kane will be there. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
Listen, I know it's a friendly against Tottenham, but you still don't want to lose the game. You know, this is the last game before the Premier League starts. I think it's important we get a positive result. A win would be great, but at least get a draw. Go there and play well. It's a shame we haven't got some more signings, but Thomas Partey obviously injured from the Chelsea game.
That's a negative, really, isn't it?
One thing I want to see in this game, I mean, Granit Xhaka, despite what I've said, he needs to play. I want to see Sambi Lokonga next to him. You know, I do not want to see El Neni. I call El Neni and Xhaka the Chuckle Brothers to me for you. I do not want to see Mohamed El Neni starting this game and starting against Brentford. I want to see Lokonga and Xhaka. Because I think Lokonga's shown a lot of promise in
he's
pre-season.
definitely got potential. But, I mean, obviously, the immediate question people are going to ask is he ready for this type of challenge in the Premier League? But, you know, how do we know unless we play him? So I think, you're right. And let's face it, El Neni has had a couple of games in the friendlies and he's not covered himself in glory. So give Lokonga a chance, man. They might unearth an unpolished diamond. So I'm with you on that, bro.
Give him a chance.
So how talking of that, how strong would you like to see the team? Would you like to see a team that will reflect what will be his first 11 come Brentford?
I think he should start full strength. You got 1 week to go till the game now. It's a game you don't want to lose. We haven't had a great pre-season.
We haven't. We didn't have a good pre-season last season, and you saw what happened.
We haven't won a game in a stadium. We only won them 2 games at London Colney, you know.
Yeah, I know.
Man's wiping down the camera with a baby wipe and that. I'm like, these man want $7.99. Man's baby wiping down the camera.
That was like one of our AFTV games, wasn't it?
That rain,
come on, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but only Arsenal, But we haven't won a game in a stadium, so.
I think they'll be taking this game seriously.
I think they have to.
I think they have to. I mean, obviously we don't want injuries. But I think he'll play a pretty decent team. Obviously there'll be subs, but I think that starting 11 against Tottenham may give us an indication of how he's going to go against Brentford the week after. So it is a game of importance. And like you said, we have not done that great. I mean, okay, we had those 2 4-1 wins against Millwall and who else was there? Watford. But You know, I mean, we didn't beat Chelsea, and we ain't going to want to lose to Tottenham.
No.
Because, like you said, although it's a friendly, it's one of those friendlies where you do want to put in a performance worthy of the name.
Definitely.
So what do you think is more important, the performance or the win, or in terms of aesthetics?
I suppose from the outside, you'll be looking at the result. As a manager, he'll probably be looking at the performance of doing the right things.
That's right.
Because you can win a game and play bad. Sometimes that doesn't set you up right for the game. But obviously, from a confidence point of view, a win would be a massive boost. I don't know.
So tell the people, what sort of team do you want to see put out?
I think he'll play 4-3-3.
You said Sambi Lokonga.
Yeah, I'd like to see Lokonga in midfield with Xhaka. I think play Ben White at centre-back. You saw with Holding the other day, man. You can't have him as your first choice. I think they'll play Pablo Mari, I think, with Ben White for the left side, right side.
What do you think of Ben White so far?
He looked good.
Yeah.
He looked good. My worry with him was, I was like, it's like we're putting you into a mess. You know, when he made a couple of great clearances, it's easy to go into a defence that's got structure. You just slot in. When you walk into a defence that's a bit, Bellerin's giving the ball away, Holding's doing all kind of madness, Leno's getting caught on the ball. It's very difficult. We need a solid structure, but I thought Ben White looked good. But I just hope he's not exposed by the players around him. The front line's going to be interesting because Saka's back in training now.
Shout out to Saka. Yeah, he came back. Messages. Yeah, man, that was really good. I saw the reception he got. That was really heartwarming, man. I think he'll respond well to that. He seemed pretty taken aback by it. He was quite emotional.
I would like to see Saka and Pepe out wide.
Right.
With Smith Rowe in the 10 and Aubameyang up front. I know some people are very against Aubameyang, but if we're going to have a good season, we've got to get something out of him.
Yeah, I'm not, man. I think the big man will come through.
I hope so. If we're sitting here in a month and he hasn't, we're going to be in trouble.
Yeah, we're going to be getting a lot of stick from people who watch his show as well. But I'm backing him, man. I think he's a big game player. And listen, last season, if you look at Aubameyang's history, last season was sort of a one-off, really, wasn't it? Because everywhere he's been, he scored and he's performed well with aplomb.
Yeah.
We had that dip last season, but you know there were some mitigating circumstances behind that with his mum and one or two other things that didn't go quite right. So we're hoping that he's put that behind him. Okay, fair enough. As we've said in our ABBA watches in the pre-seasons, he's not done that great. But listen, man, like we said, if he rolls up against Brentford and the ball goes in, courtesy of Aubameyang, everybody will be saying, yeah, he's back. So, yeah, man. But I am interested in the team this week. I am interested in the performances because, like I said, that first game of the season is looming, and you know what I mean. I want to start sort of putting some combinations together and see who's going to do well. So, yeah, man, looking forward to it. You're not going to the game, are you?
No, away fans are not allowed to travel.
Oh, okay. So but you'll be doing a watch-along, yeah? So, I'll try and catch up with some of your watch-along, bro. Okay. All right, bro, we're coming to the end of this week's show. Really enjoyed the show, as normal. Thanks, bro, for coming through with his honest and forthright opinions, as normal. Tell the people where they can find you on social media, bro.
Yeah, man, Curtis Shaw TV. We've just gone past 30,000 subscribers, so onwards and upwards, man. Big up everyone for the support, and obviously subscribe to AFTV.
Yeah, man. Like, share, subscribe. You know how we do it, man. And subscribe and watch my man's shows as well. He's doing big things. Yeah, man. Please send us some comments on the kind of things we spoke of today, about the friendlies, about the lineup of the team. What team do you want to see put out? Do you think it's an important game in terms of just performance, or would you like to see them put in a performance and get a result? What do you think the onus will be on, you know what I mean? And like I said, please continue to keep supporting the show. We truly appreciate that. Send us your comments. We like to keep things interactive, and we'll see you next week. We're out.